A good first day of practice this morning, coming off a bye. Obviously, we're welcoming a very good football team despite their record. I wouldn't pay much attention to that. I would pay attention to the film, and what they do on film is pretty impressive. They have a ton of really good athletes on their team, and it's going to take a lot to slow them down and eventually stop them and win this football game. So I'm excited to get this week rolling, and I thought we had a good start to it today.
How much did you see that extra rest kind of benefit these guys when they got back out there?
A whole bunch. I mean, today was really good. The lift was great this morning. The practice was great. I think there's the right energy. We're going into a new season right now. With these final 4 games, we have to look at it that way, and we have to think about it that way. And I think we have to take all the bad that occurred earlier and eliminate that and learn from that, and then take all of the good and find a way to amplify that and just keep pushing ourselves forward here. But I think we understand the type of football we're capable of playing. I think we understand, just the things we have to clean up. And I thought we did a really good job last week, really focusing on us. And then this week now, again, today had something to do with us, but a lot more to do with, Georgia State coming to town here.
You assess the overall health of your team after the bye week? Some guys like you mentioned are getting closer, like Sweezy. Any update on those?
Yeah, we went out there today and had a shot to go and did a great job. But just we got to see how it goes. Today was really a glorified walkthrough when it's all said and done. So we'll figure out a little bit more as the week progresses.
There's a lot of chatter about, obviously the team's chemistry on the field with so many new guys. And how do you feel like as a coaching staff, at this point in the season, you all have all gelled together? Is there anything that you've learned together throughout the season?
Oh, I think there's a lot that we learned together for sure. And I think that, just continuing to navigate this is, going to continue to be a work in progress. I think, we've done again, I've been with Dean for a while, known Lyle for many, many years. And then everybody else that came together, I just love their buy-in. I love how hard they work together. I love how committed they are. I love their relationships with these players. They're not only really competent coaches, they're also really great at connecting with the players on and off the field. And I think that's an important part of any program that I want to be associated with. So when I watch, them have, small meetings or just hanging out with the guys, wherever it might be, it's, really fun for me to see that continue to carry on, because that's a big piece of this. I want that to have that personal touch to it as well, because we intend to be in each other's lives for a very long time, not just through these playing days.
It was a bye week, but news broke over the weekend that you guys got a big opponent coming in next year too. How exciting is it to just kind of see that this program can bring in a team that is at the caliber of Washington State? Yeah,
I think it's great. I think it's great for everybody. It's great for the community. It's great for the school. It's great for our program. Anytime that you could have a home game. You saw it this year with a bunch of teams in conference. They were able to do that. So it's great that we have the opportunity next year to be able to accomplish that as well. It's a big deal.
And like you said, Georgia State's coming in this weekend. They may not have necessarily the best record in the Sun Belt at all, but what has initially stuck out to you of what they can do well?
Everything. They can do everything well. I think, when you look at Gibson, the quarterback now, he can run the ball as well as he can throw the football. He trusts the ability to throw it up to Hurst all the time, every which way he can. And then their running game is excellent. Freddie Brock, that running back, is tough. He is downhill. It's very hard to get him on the ground just one-on-one. So there's very little that they don't do well, except for their ability to score. They have been in one-score games up to this point in time. 3 of them, I believe, or maybe even more, beat Vanderbilt, right? Who beat Alabama. It's not, their consistency, similar to what we were talking about, is just consistency throughout each play, throughout an entire game. They just haven't done that yet, but they're very, very, very capable of being able to do that. And you watch, there's some unbelievable plays made by a lot of guys on this team, offensively and defensively, and there's really no easy outs against this program.
You guys have faced some teams this year that have those running backs that are really hard to bring down once you get them in one-on-one situations. How much does that repetition of seeing it over and over help?
Well, I mean, anytime that everybody's a little different, though. They're not all the same, right? So there are some bigger running backs that are downhill and physical, and we've faced that. And then there's some other ones that have that element, but then have a little bit more of an elusiveness to them. I think we've done a good job up to this point of putting our surface on them and making sure that we have a firm foot in the ground and our pad level is low as we're collisioning them. It's not that we're just going to fit a tackle. We're trying to run through these tackles, and I think that is something that getting off blocks and tackling is obviously matters, is everything that we do on defense. But it also comes down to the secondary then too, because we've seen our corners and safeties get involved a lot in this, and those are really the guys you expect it from the D-line linebackers to be able to do that, because that's at the top of their job responsibilities. But it's the secondary that we just got to make sure our leverage stays right. We got to make sure that we know where our help is, and we got to make sure that we're able to put, again, surface on these guys and get them on the ground. tough running back. Played it again, like you said, throughout the year. We just got to go back, and that's what we were doing over this bye week, is just finding where and how things might break down a little bit, and then how do we fix those. And secondary and their tackling ability to keep their leverage and finish is a big piece of what's going to lead to success this week.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia State's Gibson, I think he's only thrown 1 pick so far this year. And of course, you guys get a lot of picks and force a lot of turnovers. What are you going to have to do to make him to make mistakes, because it seems like he hasn't made many this year?
Yeah, well, he hasn't played the whole season either, but ultimately he is a guy that doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He understands his matchup. He understands windows he's throwing into. He gets the ball out on time, and he has time to do it. Where he doesn't, and where he does maybe throw the ball, is when there's some pressure. When he gets some pressure on him, that happens, and you could see that a little bit. But with that pressure comes maybe a loss of lane integrity, and he can run the ball just as well as any other quarterback we played up to this point in time. So, really he does a good job. I think we've been able to get the ball back from offenses, whether it be fumbles or interceptions or strips, sacks, or whatever it might be. We're just going to have to continue to focus on that, which we do every single week. But he won't give us too many easy ones, right? We're going to have to work really hard for him.
You mentioned the receiver Hurst. What are the kind of the challenges when you're going up against a guy like that who they're still going to throw it to him, even though he's quote-unquote covered, and he can make those difficult catches?
Yeah, you got to be on his body, right? You have got to be on his body. You can't give him a lot of separation. He does a really good job of separating at the last second, and creating that little bit of separation needed. He, I think, is in good time, has good timing with his quarterback. I believe that, a lot of the vertical game, they work a lot of those placement throws, the back shoulder throws, and things like that when they realize he's covered up top. And I just think he's going to have his opportunities. They're not going to not throw him the football. They're going to throw him the football, to your point. So we just got to make sure that we're in position where it has to be a perfect throw with a perfect catch. We give him a lot of room and a lot of space at the top of that route. It's going to be a long day.
And then just coming out of this bye week here with the final stretch run, if you will, do you kind of sense within the program there's like that flip of the switch, like, okay, like it's time to go? Yeah,
I think today, certainly showed up. And you could go back through and pull all of the offensive film you want, and there's a lot of moments where we're really, really close. And I think today was about that, right? How do we execute at just an elite level? That's what you have to do. You have to be playing your best football here in November. You have got to be learning from everything that went that went wrong in the weeks before, and you got to be fixing that and moving forward. And I like where we're at right now. We just got to continue to understand our communication, our effort, our fundamentals have to be elite as we roll through this thing, because these last 4, are crucial to the season.
Feels like forever ago now, but the last game you had 9 sacks. Where have you seen the defensive line step up, and how has Coach Daniels helped them improve throughout the season?
Oh, a ton. I think that, they do a great job of studying their opponent. They do a great job of studying themselves as well, and make sure they know what they put on film prior to this. And then just overall schematically, the way Coach Hemphill and the rest of the defensive staff build that plan to try to get one-on-ones here and there with different guys is really an important piece of this. So I sat in a D-line, meeting this morning, and it's right back, here we are on Monday, and having that same conversation like every week about how we're attacking it and what we're looking to do and how we're going to isolate some people. Those are all really important things, and Coach Daniels has done a great job with it.